Let's head on over to the Saskatchewan Roughriders bubble. We got veteran Roughriders kicker Brett Lauther joining us today from quarantine, I guess. How you doing, Brett?
I just can't wait for this to be over, but I'm doing all right.
The interview or the quarantine?
No, the quarantine. This is my fifth one, so it feels like two and a half months of like house arrest in the last year and stuff. And yeah, I'm definitely not complaining by any means. I'm excited to be back and can't wait for Saturday to get on the field with the guys.
Trust me, I get it for sure. And I'm so fortunate I haven't had to quarantine at all, touch wood. But explain to me the other day, the Riders video on Instagram kind of just blew everybody's mind because I could see your face, even smiling under that mask. That was you walking into the stadium with Jorgen Hughes, was it not? Like, what went down there on Tuesday?
Yeah, since Tuesday, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I just got back now. We've had some kind of on-field workouts. So the local guys go for a session and then the guys in the dorm go for a session. And it's just kind of some movement on the field, nothing major. A little bit of running, a little bit of med ball stuff just before camp and just getting guys out of the, I guess, sitting at home and moving a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do feel for you, my friend. And believe me, as you know, I went through the junior hockey bubble thing here in the spring with the Western Hockey League. And the guys came out of there and said, never again. It was 2 months in there for the players and the coaches. And I think you're eating the same food. I mean, Ricky Collins Jr. was just on here yesterday, and he just got players are saying this is like jail. I mean, how are you filling the time yourself, Brett? How are you? You're a very mentally strong guy. But not everybody is.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm a veteran of quarantines now. This is my fifth one, and we're in a little bit better situation than some of the guys that are in the dorms, I feel like. That's why part of the reason I came back early and fully vaccinated, had COVID, did my quarantine. I've been out here before. So I have groceries. I'm set up at home, and I'm all good at that end. And between, I guess, gaming and going to the facility here and there and making some calls back home and trying to kill the time and just doing what I can to fill it all in until we get to Saturday and start camp up. I'm ready to go.
Definitely don't want to lead you down the garden path here, but you must be sitting there going, I'm double vaccinated. I've had COVID. Why am I sitting in here why do I got to quarantine for 2 weeks? I mean, nobody's been able to answer these questions for me. I assume you've asked the same questions.
Yeah. And, I actually just recently, I'm doing the COVID compliance for the team. There's kind of a guy doing it. And we had a call recently, and it's really not on the PA. It's not on the CFL. It's not on the coaches. No one wants to be doing this. We're just running off what was agreed upon in February and what the NHL was doing at the time. And as far as we know right now, nothing's changing from the government. We're trying to get to talk to them the upcoming weeks to get things changed for what I'm hearing. Hopefully by week 2, I hope earlier, but right now it's just all pending to see how these talks go. But exactly what you said, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I mean, everywhere else is opening up. It's opened up here, I think, in a few days with no masks and everything else. And then we're still at the facility doing a lot of things that might seem a little bit ridiculous. But at the same time, it's like I said, I'm just here to play football and kind of doing whatever it takes to play this year.
Well, it is what it is. And you're doing, like you say, you're just doing what you're told to do and staying safe and all the way. How did it feel to be on the bus with the guys, by the way, and back with Hughes and your guys? That must have felt great.
Yeah, I'm not on the bus. There's only, It's like I said, there's about 10 to 15 of us that are local guys. And we go in for separate stuff. We're still not allowed to be together till Saturday, but, everyone on the bus and doing everything else. I've had a lot of guys messaging and reaching out and just kind of bringing things up or what about this and this. And it's good to be talking to the guys and it's good to be back out here. And it's like I said, just trying to take everything and turn it into a positive because there's no reason to be miserable about stuff. And people would be complaining if we weren't playing this year. So I'm just happy we are playing. It's like I said, everyone's ready to do whatever it takes and sacrifice some more. And I mean, in the end, when you make a lot of these sacrifices and do things like this over a year, it's really what turns you into a championship team. So I feel like these things right now might be minor bumps in the road for what we could do this year type deal.
Well, what's positive, Brett, is for me to be talking to you. I always enjoy our visits. And if you don't mind, we got some good questions from the viewers here. So from Robert in Prince Albert, he says, Brett, have you worked on some walk-off sellies during the break? And if I may, I forgot about all these little things that you do in the into Pill Country. What one was that all about? I know I asked you once, but remember in Toronto you nailed a game winner? What was that about?
Yeah, like the Toronto one was kind of just quick backstory to it. Like there wasn't much. It was just kind of on the spot and just did it. Like I feel like that whole season was just 4 or 5 years of working hard to try to prove what I did that year, and kind of like, I mean, there's just so many years of GMs and other guys telling you stuff you can't do, and then finally getting a chance to do it. It felt really good. So that stuff was just a lot of emotion and everything too. But I probably shouldn't be saying this, but me and Josh, when we got to Toronto 2 days early, when we got there, like we just sent it that night. We're so hungover for like 2 straight days, and then went out there and just had like our best game of the season. So we were just having some fun for that one. And then, like I said, the one in Pill Country at home was just me and John just talked it to fruition. Like we didn't think it was going to happen that week. We just were hoping someday, like maybe to get a walk-off kick like that together, and we did it. And who knows, maybe we'll end up back there this year and turn it into like a little bit of a tradition or something that we do out here.
2019 Labor Day lore. Brett Lauther is now part of Labor Day lore, along with John Ryan. I mean, who better a guy to go into history with than John Ryan? But it's funny, you know, receivers sit and choreograph touchdown dances, and hockey players choreograph. When you're a hockey player, you tell me you're a better hockey player than you are a kicker. I'd like to see that one day. But I guess coaches always said, you guys can sit around, you got a lot of extra time. So if you come up with the dances, just make sure that you have a reason to dance. Your coaches have never had a problem with anything you do, right?
No, I mean, they've been great. I think a lot of people like maybe will take stuff that we do, kicking and other stuff, like the wrong way. You see every other guy's out there allowed to celebrate. And when I played hockey, you're allowed to celebrate. And we kick a game winner and there's 30-some thousand people, and I feel like I'm living the dream. I'm going to celebrate. So I hope people don't take it this wrong way, or that I'm trying to rub it in Winnipeg or whatever teams are playing face. It's just I'm pumped up and I'm going to have fun and enjoy my life. I'm not trying to be out here and, you know what I mean, walk off the field and like, yeah, we did it, and then just go to the next game or something. Like this stuff doesn't last forever, so I'm just enjoying it while it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously there was no backlash over that Pill Country thing, not even from my Bomber fan friends. Who asked here? John in Winnipeg says, Brett, what one stadium is hard to kick in because of conditions? What's the hardest stadium to kick in?
Conditions wise, I don't know, just something about, it's not like I dislike it or anything, but ever since we switched over, whenever we play in Toronto, I feel like we had a couple games there where I don't know if there was like a soccer game on before, or if it gets chewed up in the middle a lot easier than the turf. But I always found like your footing and stuff you have to worry about on the grass in Toronto, and the wind off the water. That, and like obviously when we play in Winnipeg, it's like when they come to Sask, it's loud and everything else there. It doesn't affect us too much. But yeah, I'd say probably Toronto, just with the footing. Sometimes you can get some good games there with the grass and stuff, but sometimes it's a bit chewed up.
You know, you must feel absolutely blessed that Craig Dickinson is your head coach, because he was a punter in college, as you know. He's a special teams guy, and he gets you. Because for years, when kickers went into funks, in my time with the team, the coaches were like, he'll figure it out. They might bring in a consultant to work with him, but Dickie gets you. That might have something to do with your success in your time with the Green and White, I would think.
Oh, I think for sure. I think it's not really much of what I've done. I think it's more or less like a guy like Jorgen or John and Josh that have been out here like snapping and holding. I'm pretty lucky to have like pretty much an NFL snap and hold for my 2 years out here, and the coaching from a head coach that's a special teams coach and kicked before, and a guy that gets it. And it's not just those guys, it's top to bottom, like with Jo and the whole organization. We have something pretty special here, and just they know how to treat guys right and everything along the way with that. So it's like I said, just getting back to do what I did in 2018 and to play football again after such a long time off. It's all been gravy on top since then. So Obviously, I'd love to win a Grey Cup and do a number of other things and be out here and play for a long time. But it's like anything, you just got to take it one day at a time and one season at a time.
Argo fan Chris Bird watching in Toronto says BMO Field is the only stadium with natural turf. Makes sense that it's a lot different than the other stadiums. It is, but for, I think, 17 yards of turf in the one end zone, Brett, as you recall, in the north ends of... Anyways, Jamie Neugebauer, the voice of the Notre Dame Hounds, says, we got to get you down to Notre Dame to skate with the Junior A team. Would you do that, Brett?
Anytime. It's like I said, I came back out here in... I guess it was the off season of 18 into 19 or 19 into 20. And I was jumping on the ice here in Regina and just kind of meeting whoever and throwing it on social media. And there's a few places or a few skates I went to and the guys told me not to come back just because ripping it up too much on them. So I'm always trying to get on the ice. And I mean, this past year, that was one of the biggest things that sucked was not being able to play hockey, not being able to golf normal, just a lot of things I enjoy doing. But yeah, if it's the Hounds, the Pats, Junior A teams, anyone around this off season, I got my gear out here and I'm ready to go. And it's like I said, it's all talk till you get on the ice with them. But yeah, I'd love to get out.
I'll bring you out to an outdoor if we can't do any more than that. But, we used to have a Rough Rider hockey team. I don't think they do anymore. But Paul McCallum, you know that name because you're chasing a lot of his records in the record book. That son of a gun. He could skate so fast. A tank like you. Thick ass.
I talked to Paul about it a bunch when I was out here in 15. And I actually it didn't come to fruition because of COVID and everything else too. But I was kind of digging up some stuff about the Rider hockey team before and just thinking about maybe getting something going like that, whether it was like a charity game or something to do with like the RCMP or the firefighters, get them involved and some players that can skate. Cause I know there's a few guys on our team that maybe in the past there was more guys, but a little bit less now, but I'd love to get something like that going again, just for the community, or if I stay out here in an off season and everything else. I mean, it's all I do in the winter. So
I could do a whole show on stories from that hockey team, by the way, but I was just going to say with McCallum, very fast cause he had the power, couldn't turn. As you can well imagine. You're a Habs fan, are you not, Brett? Are you not? You're a Habs fan, aren't you?
Yeah, born and raised.
How are we doing today?
I'm fine. I think if we're like a Vegas or a top team this year and not an 18th seed, and you know what I mean, this was all kind of a magical run, and I think those guys really gave it their all. Good young core now, like everything you want to see out of a younger team. But I'm pretty fearful for going back to the Atlantic Division next year and having Tampa, Boston, Toronto, Florida, and you name it, where, you know what I mean, Price and Weber are getting a bit older. But yeah, it was a fun run, and we've just ran into one of the all-time teams. I think you put them there with the Blackhawks or the 90s Wings and Avalanche, or even the Oilers back in the day, just with the cap stuff and the no state tax and everything involved. Like, that team's a super team, and I feel like they would have done that to almost every team in the final. So yeah, well, it's a tough way to lose. It was fun being in Montreal, obviously, last week. Great fan base, great town, and hey, they're not going anywhere. They'll be back. Brett, thanks for allowing us to kill some time with you. Keep in touch, and good luck getting on the field there Saturday. No, thank you. I mean, we don't have anything else to do, so looking forward to Saturday, and it's good talking to you guys again. Thanks a lot, Brett. Have a good day. Saskatchewan Roughriders kicker Brett Lauther joining us from inside the Roughriders CFL bubble, getting ready for the opening of training camp on Saturday.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.